Today we're going to be talking about one of the cheapest villa investment opportunities in Bali, Indonesia, that I am personally involved with building from the ground up. These are villas that are specifically designed and catering for digital nomads and also short-term rentals. These villas are really uniquely located near gyms and other restaurants. So with that said, if you do want to stay up to date with what I'm doing in Bali, feel free to smash that subscribe button. And if you do want to reach out with any questions about the Bali real estate market or the Dubai real estate market, I will leave my contact details down there in the description. And first of all, let's look exactly where these villas are located, and then we'll jump into the numbers behind it.
So you can see they're basically very close to all of the major amenities, and we'll get into the specifics of the amenities in a moment, but I just wanted to give you a grasp on the fact that we have essentially the center, shall you say, of Canggu, all the way from the beach, inclusive of Body Factory, up towards Nirvana, and we're about a 3-minute drive away from that. Diving in further specifically to the area where Temple Heights is, we have restaurants, bars all around it, so you're certainly by no stretch isolated. Hotels even on the exact street, but you just don't have the heaviness, shall we say, of 5 minutes away. Okay, so enough about the location. Let's dive in and actually have a look at the project. So this has been curated for several, I suppose, thought processes in mind with regards to the development. The main part of it being the customizable would be phenomenal if I could use the English language properly, the customizable element of it. And what I mean by that is the ability to be able to take a unit that you desire and tend to change it into either whether you want it to be a single bedroom villa or if you want it to be a 2-bed. So there's two ways of looking at it. One is if you plan on using it for your own personal end usage, then potentially a single bedroom might be better in the sense of if you would like a larger open living space, or in theory, in contrast, if you'd rather have pure ROI, you could argue that a 2-bedroom might list better on Airbnb. So let's kind of dive in and share a little bit more. So this is an example of the exterior, and we also have a customizable element of the exterior. This is actually one of the Riverside units that opens out. Riverside units are fully sold, but I'll give you a full feel for them now in a moment. So we've got the map here, as you can see. Here's a deep dive into the health facilities nearby. So we've got plenty of gyms, we've got the rejuvenation center, we've got Nirvana, we've got Finn's Recreation Club, which plenty of people will know, Wanderlust, incredible paddle clubs nearby. And then obviously you've got tons of other amenities, things like equestrian, and bear in mind, you're still like a 10-minute drive from the beach, 15 minutes maybe max. Then you've got co-working spaces, etc. So Bali as an overall, I don't think we need to delve in too much to it. I think most educated investors at the moment are aware of the fact that Bali has phenomenal, or Indonesia in general, in fact, has phenomenal opportunity. Bali specifically, Bali's a unique aspect, I suppose, of Indonesia. Indonesia being the world's largest Muslim population country in the world, in Bali specifically being a Hindu island within that. So kind of operates on a slightly different model to the rest of Indonesia. So very secure in terms of government. Obviously, people have been investing there for a long, long time. So let's jump in and have a look at the 15 villa lots. Or loft villas rather. So like I said, prime location in Canggu. We're very much in the center of it, but we're just 3 minutes outside of that. We've got the customizable living spaces, and then we've got the ability within the customizable not only to decide whether you would like a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, but you have the ability to also decide if you would like a private pool or a plunge pool, or in fact a deck. So again, you can see here, these are high quality renders of exactly how the unit will look. We're going all out for premium furnishing to ensure that the finalization or the finish of it is beautiful. I'll come back to the finishes in a moment. So we'll jump through here. You can see the open kitchen space. So this is interesting. So upstairs, we want to maximize the ability for someone to be able to work remotely. We all know plenty of folks love coming to Bali, use the gym, use the beach, enjoy the restaurants, but at the same time, making sure that they're actually working, staying connected. So these villas will have incredibly strong Wi-Fi. Will have also the ability to, realistically, you could kind of house 5 to 6 people co-working, because you'll have the kitchen space downstairs, you'll have a desk space there. And also when you come up to the loft space, we've also included this specifically that looks out above the window, and 2 living spaces there. So this is an interesting time actually to jump to a slightly separate topic, but that is the view aspect of the project. So what I mean by that is, let's quickly jump in and have a look at the actual overview of the plan, because of the fact that the land itself is on a slope. Now, what I mean by that is that This is the top point. So here we are at units 1, 2, 3, and these are the highest units, and they're sloping down towards the riverside units 15 to 13. But what I mean by that, and what's vital about this with regards to the co-working space, or the space, the working space that I was showing you, was that unit 3, for example, because this land is on a downward slope, you are not, again, I repeat, you are not looking into unit 6. You have a clear view, and every unit has a clear view because the land is sloping downward. So for example, if this was just on a flat piece of land, unit 3 would be looking straight into the back of unit 6. Unit 6 would be looking straight into the back of unit 9, whereas that's not the case because of the fact that it is on a lovely downhill slope. So we picked that piece of land specifically for that reason. I'll come back to a couple of other, jump back in here and have a look at some of the specific amenities. In fact, you know what, we'll pop back in and just jump back here to the customization element of it. So when we come into the actual living space, as I mentioned regarding the sloped land, a really interesting aspect of what we're doing. So the management services, for the majority of our clients, they look to basically have this as a hands-off investment, potentially coming over for a month, a year, but for the most part, most people want to churn the highest return on investment they possibly can for it. So not only have we developed these projects, but we also manage them. The benefit of that is that for someone who invests, it's a single point of contact. You've got one single individual who your point of contact for the whole process, from the purchase, from the customization, to the long-term management, to the potential reinvestment. And our goal is to not have thousands of clients on the future investments or the future developments that we also have. We want to have a small cohort of clients who we can go back to in 12 months' time after purchasing this and saying to them, hey, look, this is what you've generated over the last year. This is our next project. Does it appeal to you to go again? And then we want to encourage them to roll over because of the fact that they'll have had such a good experience and generated such a good return that they'll be comfortable just rolling it over from there. So we've got the management service, we've got a flexible payment plan, we've got obviously expert architectural design, and then really, really high quality European style construction across the entire project. So I've touched briefly on the villa management. This includes everything we look after: marketing, bookings, housekeeping, accounting, and finance. So that's to touch on that. But we'll dive deeper into the actual amenities of the villas now. So like I said, we've got a key open layout space with tons and tons of natural lighting. Basically, everything is being thought through. We've got the workstations in each unit. We've got the spacious living space, the ability to have a balcony. We have the management and maintenance. We have a warranty, in fact, and we have 1 year of property insurance from Zurich, no less. So it's no messing around when it comes to the rigorous approach that we've taken to this. So let's have a look at the 1-bedroom villa, shall we? So when we dive in, you can see the detail customization that we have. So I'll give you option 1, for example, which is a 1-bedroom, which gives you a big open living space here that you can see. And also then you have the option to have a plunge pool outside. So this is option 1, let's say, if you were to have a 1-bedroom. Second option is if you wanted a 1-bedroom plus a bathtub. Now, for a lot of folks, I actually recommend the bathtub as the external option. Why is that? Because if you're a pure return on investment, a pure ROI investor, you're looking to maximize your investment, then realistically, a plunge pool or a plunge pool basically, or a deck will both look great, don't get me wrong, but a bath will look phenomenal, and the likelihood of someone actually using a bath, this is the unsaid reality, is probably quite low. But if you're going to end usage, if I was the end user, I would probably take a plunge pool just to cool off on those hot Bali days, especially if you're over during the rainy season. So as we look at that, this will also give you a quick understanding of the working space that I was mentioning earlier. You can see this is how it will look as you're going up the stairs. So really nice. You could easily have someone down here working away, and you could have 1 or 2 up here, and then even someone in the bedroom. So again, option 1, 1-bedroom plus a plunge pool, 1-bedroom plus bathtub. And then you could also just go for a deck, having an open living space. So you can see here with regards to the wardrobes, even the bedrooms, we've taken tons of time to curate a really nice glass style finish. So you've got the best kind of feel and look from a premium hotel. This gives you a feel for the internal finishes. We've spent a lot of time even just refining down the bathrooms and how they look and feel, because there's nothing nicer and better than having a really nice bathroom when you are in your villa. So we jump in now to the 2-bedroom option. So again, same layout, but you can go for the 2-bed same layout in terms of the external, but you can actually add a bedroom downstairs. So what I mean by that is when we look at the floor plan here, this is the pool, this is your entrance, this is your living space that we've been looking at. And then instead of having the expanded open kitchen, we actually put a bedroom in here. So you can see that all of a sudden you've got the potential to have either a bedroom or an entirely closed off office there, which is a really, really nice aspect of what we're doing. So for a 50K down payment is all these units are, you can see how pretty quickly you can open up some really amazing opportunities. So again, this is the 2-bedroom plus bath, and then 2-bedroom plus the garden option. Here's another CGI that hasn't been shown yet. So again, you'll see all the tons of natural lighting plus the beautiful finishes that we're putting in terms of the lighting. These are the Riverside villas, which are currently sold out unless there's any changes, but they're beautiful, a little bit larger and on the side of the actual river. So again, here's the overall development, like I said. So it's sloping down from the top side here. This is units 1, 2, 3 down to 15, 14, and 13, and sloping downwards towards the river. The riverside are these pink units here and a little bit bigger. So when we look across here, these 2 neighboring villas are fantastic, phenomenal finish. And my understanding of it is that they're designed and built by a very wealthy family who want to have one for their own usage and one for friends and family. So you can see what you're looking into is a really premium unit. So then we jump into the materials mood board, and this actually gives me a chance just to touch on, this is the example of the detail with the finishes across the project. So really thorough detail into everything as far down as the taps, all of the fixtures and fittings, obviously the furniture, everything has been thought through with a lot of detail, even with regards to the color on the chairs, everything. So really, really premium finishing across the board, lighting, etc. Lighting for us is vital. Even things like mirrors have been thought through. So a lot of diligence to make sure that this is all done incredibly well to an extremely high standard, and that really you have an outstanding investment piece or end usage villa for the long run. So diving in a little bit further into the actual investment. So how does it work? So what we have essentially is a 50% down payment in simple terms now, and then thereafter it's 5% installments over the remaining balance of the construction period. Construction is due to complete in October 2025. I say that conservatively, could easily be September 2025 given the rate with which we're operating at the moment. And the unit comes with a 25-year leasehold plus a guaranteed additional 25 years. So how does that work for someone who's not familiar with it? Basically, the 25-year extension is a guaranteed government extension that is done on the average price of the land. So if we were to take the dollar price today for that extension, you're looking at the equivalent of about 11,000 USD. So in simple terms, in 25 years time, there's an 11,000 USD extension, and then you've got another 25 years of the lease on the land. And then that is expanded again for another 25 years thereafter. So you might wonder, well, what's the logic of this? Well, the simple logic behind it is that the Balinese government have a model of governance which basically decrees that only locals will fully own the land for the long term. The idea is that they want to keep it in the families for the cycles of generations as the time passes, and I suppose respect the fact that the families have a spiritual connection to the land. So it's very much designed for the Western investor, shall we say, to capitalize within the market and to develop, but at the same time that there is still the respect for the history of the land and the island and all of the generations that have gone by. So when we look at a quick ROI comparable, these are conservative figures in the sense of Indonesia being, or Bali specifically, being around a 15% ROI. 80 to 90% is a very conservative occupancy rate for Bali. The likelihood of it being higher is very high, for want of a better word, to use the adjective high twice. And you can see in comparison to Thailand, Dubai, etc. So here's some examples of previous developments that we've undertaken, again executed to a really high standard. And that is basically it. That's an overview of Temple Heights. In terms of a down payment, like I said, it is a $50,000 more or less down payment, and then basically incremental payments from there. And so, yeah, very exciting prospect in the sense of the ability to be able to have a customizable unit, total price of 125,000 USD. If it is a single bedroom, and regardless of whether you want a plunge pool, a bathtub, or a deck, it's 125,000 USD. And to add to that, it also includes all of the furnishing, absolutely everything. There's no hidden fees Or if you decide to go for the 2-bedroom, there's a minor price increase of 5,000 USD, which is the cost of to maneuver the change, shall we say. So extremely cost efficient. ROI likelihood is 15% plus. If we manage it on your behalf, we expect that as a minimum. So no pressure as well. There's no need to have it managed by us. You can manage it yourself, or you can, of course, use it for end usage, which would be a phenomenal thing to do, given the fact that you have these amazing facilities nearby and restaurants, bars, and all the beautiful parts of Bali that we've all come to know and love.
With that said, guys, hopefully you understand a little bit more about the Temple Heights villas. All the information to contact us will be down there in the description. Thank you for watching the video, and if you do want to stay up to date with the Bali and Dubai real estate markets, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.